The final moments of the inaugural USL Super League regular season come from the Pacific Northwest. The Spokane Zephyr take on Fort Lauderdale United. Since claiming the #1 spot as her own, Hope Heisey has anchored the back line to big things. 9 winning alone, just 1 goal conceded in their last 3 games. They need just 1 point to make the playoffs. The playoff race comes down to the final regular season matches at One Spokane Stadium here today between Spokane and Fort Lauderdale. Tonight's match is brought to you by White Claw, distributed locally by the Odom Corporation. Alongside soccer analyst Haley Sutton, Jack Edwards with you on Peacock as these teams meet for the going to go down to the wire. Spokane, it's been a big leap from fall to spring, but this last recent run of form, 10 points in the last 12 available.
Joe Johnson told us that the spring break, the winter break, if you will, was much needed for her team. She said they're finally leaning into the process and the outcomes are starting to fall for them. She said the turning point of the game was that Tampa Bay game back on March 19th after they lost to Carolina. They turned around and got a really great effort against Tampa Bay. It's been playoff mentality all spring long for Spokane, and it's starting to show.
Mina Ekic has been a massive part of this side, and those stats just back up her case for Player of the Year.
I mean, what can't she do, right? 10 goals, 6 assists, 3 braces as well. I mean, she can score goals, but really what stood out to her is her defensive development over the spring. She's winning 67% of her duels. She drops back to provide support. So in addition to creating those chances, Jack, she's also helping her team not concede them as well.
She scored in the first ever meeting between these sides in the first ever game from the penalty spot. For Fort Lauderdale, it's been consistency from fall to spring that has them in a spot where they control their destiny.
Consistent is a perfect way to describe this roster. They don't get too high, don't get too low. Point your attention, spring slate. Tyrone Mears told us they don't like playing emotionally, but last week they leaned into that emotion, and it's really helping them as they push towards the postseason. Nothing has changed in terms of that playoff message, Jack, but they certainly would like a win today.
7 points from the last 9 available. Sabrina McNeil is one player looking out for here today, Haley.
She had such an incredible goal in this game that you'll see on your screen here. Just purely hustle, pure wanting to get in the back of the net. She said had to hold back tears after scoring because it was such a great moment for her. But she's got a very big task defensively as well, having to deal with that Spokane front line. Certainly going to be an important player to the outside of the field for Fort Lauderdale as well as getting in on that attack.
It comes down to this. The stakes could not be higher in Spokane. They play for the 4th and final time this year, and there's a chance only one of them can make the postseason. Spokane and Fort Lauderdale on the other side of this break.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way.
Focus!
Fight back with Tiger Bomb's legendary herbal power.
Whatever it takes.
Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Bomb's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength speed of the tiger is the way of the tiger.
Spokane and Fort Lauderdale just moments away from kickoff. Tonight's match is brought to you by White Claw, distributed locally by the Odom Corporation. Alongside Haley Sutton, Jack Edwards here with you in the broadcast booth. You can look at our lineups. First off, for Spokane, 2 unavailabilities to tell you about. Katie Murray, out injured. Sophia Braun with the Argentinian national team. So Emma Jaskinek and Winnie Bellotti come in.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this midfield settles in. We know Josh Johnson, a former midfielder, likes to run her offense through that portion of the field. So curious to see how Bellotti, even Jaskinek settle in there as well. But man, that Spokane front line is dangerous. Ekich, Cook, Weiner, all can score goals.
On the other side now for Fort Lauderdale, they're unchanged after a 1-0 win over Dallas last time out.
Fort Lauderdale, look for them to utilize those outside channels. You notice Addie McCain has been shifted more out wide. Don't get too locked in on that. She will float inside and play that traditional 6 role, but she likes to distribute, so get the outside channels going. Feed those balls in for players like Kiara Locklear, Cheyenne Allen, and even Shania Gordon on the outside.
Those are our lineups. We can look now at what we're watching out for playoff scenarios. Both teams get in if they win. Fort Lauderdale guarantees a spot with a draw, and we're keeping an eye on Dallas because if they either lose or draw, we'll know both of these teams are going to the postseason.
This is what you want in a new league, trying to draw up sort of, that interest and how it's all going to play out this final weekend where it all comes down to this between these two teams. Two teams, Jack, who really have had coming together as they've sort of transformed from the fall into the spring in different ways. So it's kind of fitting that it's these last two teams facing off with one another in the last week of the season.
It bookends the season beautifully. On August 17th, 2024, they met at One Spokane Stadium, the very first match in both of the clubs' history. And they round out this inaugural season with the playoffs on the line for a 4th and final meeting. Adelaide Monroy gets us underway with the first whistle of the match. Spokane in the black kits. They'll head from left to right across your screen. An early interception from a Fort Lauderdale side trying to come on the road and provide a role of spoiler. Sydney Cummings seeing this one out. Quite a very energetic start for Fort Lauderdale, but an early free kick given. The challenge there from Allen.
I like the early effort there from Fort Lauderdale, picking off a pass early on, trying to get in on the attack in the first 5 minutes, the first minute, very clearly trying to set the tone early.
We can look at our keys to the game presented by Ford. And Haley, these are what you pointed out here.
Yeah, I'll talk about Fort Lauderdale first. The visitors, they can't get caught up in Spokane's ever-shifting position in the midfield. Those 3 players tend to float across side to side, so don't get too caught up in that. You also have to win the wide areas. That's where the strength is for Fort Lauderdale, between Shania Gordon on one end, Cheyenne Allen on the other, with their outside backs getting forward. And they have to finish. Put balls in situations that are going to make it dangerous, make it difficult for the Spokane back line. As for Spokane, I'm looking for them to force some issues on that Fort Lauderdale back line, lean on their playmakers in Amina Ekich and Weinert up top, and then capitalize on set pieces. We haven't seen a lot of goals scored in this series through the slate here, so getting an early goal in on a set piece will do wonders for Spokane.
1-1 draw in the first meeting. Fort Lauderdale won the first time they played in Florida, 2-1. It was a 0-0 draw when they met earlier on in the spring. First foray into the attacking third now for Spokane. A few numbers presenting themselves. A low shot. It's the first effort of the game. It's dragged wide of goal for Cosette Morche to worry yourself about.
Spokane trying to put their offensive footprint on it early, driving forward. It's a good effort ultimately, but just not quite on target. Low, driven, but goes just wide there.
Haley Thomas making a 25th start of the season, playing in that left back role. It's going to be a battle in these wide areas. How do the fullbacks, wingers respond to one another? Weiner sliding one forward. Hooked back upfield all the way to Sarah Clark. We can look at our injury report for tonight's match. It's brought to you by Kinetic Chiropractic, a modern approach to chiropractic care. Some long-term injuries there, but the big one, Katie Murray, unavailable for this Spokane side.
And it's bad timing that Sophia Braun actually got an international call-up as well. Joe Johnson said if it wasn't for that call-up, it would be Sophia who would slot in and take the role there. But what I really like about what Johnson has done with her midfield is that she's made them all interchangeable. So you have the hot names, right? The Almers, even the Ekich, Bourgeois likes to get up on that outside back position. But really, all of those players across the middle are interchangeable. So that's why I say for Fort Lauderdale, don't get so caught up with a name in front of you. Just make sure that you always have pressure on a body in front of you, because they will switch sides throughout the match.
Ekich loses out, puts a bit of defensive work in, and Balata foot in as well. Back to the Fort Lauderdale back line. Near side, it's McNeil trying a probing pass over the top. Challenge from behind, illegally done. It's a foul going against Kiara Locklear. Very energetic player. Talked to Tyrone Mears this week. She's led the
situations as the game rolls along. But she's a very physical presence for Fort Lauderdale on that front line. She's not afraid to go through a defender, which makes her really great of an asset to be on your team. But on the other side, it can get a little tough on some of those fouls.
Here's Bourgeois, fires one forward. Good defensive work, and it's knocked upfield by Fort Lauderdale. Almer climbed highest to win the header. That crossed the line. Yes, it did. Throw in near side of the field. Tyrone Mears trying to see Fort Lauderdale into the postseason. Seemed for a long time like it, I don't want to say a formality, but a lot of times flirting with the top of the table. So there's a foul from behind, this one going against the captain for Spokane. You contrast that with Spokane, and the first time they crossed the playoff line was May 7th.
Wow.
They've had to wait a long time. The playoff push started at the turn of the year. They had 12 points in the fall, up to 34 now at this point. They're keeping themselves right in things.
I mean, when you think about how different Spokane specifically has looked from start to finish, you know, from the start of the season to now, I should say, as we get a little bit of build-up here. But, you know, they've just been resilient. They were handed such a difficult draw with being the only West Coast team that this league has seen. And so travel has been tough. Maintaining names on the roster has been tough as well. So we have to give them an A+ for just fighting through some of that adversity that a lot of these other teams don't always have to face week in and week out.
Balata puts the brakes on, loses her touch there. They've been hoping for a foul. Didn't get one, but the referee will pause play. Joe Johnson on the other side of things. It's already been announced she will step down at the end of the season. Return to Oklahoma, the collegiate game. But she's been a big part of this side, not only in just establishing the club, but also establishing a team that is one result away from reaching the postseason.
I always love our conversations with Joe Johnson because she keeps it so raw and so real. I think being a former player herself, she understands a lot of what these players are dealing with, and she doesn't have a problem self-scouting. Every week she goes through, you know, the film and the paperwork and looks at what these girls need to do to not only improve on the team side, but just as players and people as well. And so we're really going to miss her in Super League play, but hopefully, depending on which side of the fandom you are on here, hopefully this isn't her last game.
Of course, there is a possibility where everybody's happy at this stadium, but that's reliant on Carolina, who have already knotted up the Players' Shield. We're getting a result in Dallas. Currently it's 1-0. Second half is resumed there about 49 minutes in. We'll keep you updated on what's happening over there, because that will have major implications on what is happening here in Spokane. Build up here from Fort Lauderdale back to Morche. A 22nd appearance of the season for Morche. Long ball played forward. Takes a kind hop. It comes along here for Gordon. In the 18-yard box, Shania Gordon gets a shot off and finds the back of the net. The first shot of the match opens the scoring for the visitors. And it's a 5th goal of the season for Shania Gordon to get things going for Fort Lauderdale.
Man, Was Spokane going to play any defense? I mean, my goodness, it almost looked like Shania Gordon was waiting for the last minute, looking to serve a teammate here on the platter, and she just picks up her head and notices that, why not? Take the shot. She gets the lucky bounce off of that post, but man, what an opportunity for Fort Lauderdale to capitalize here. You'll get a good look at the angle here. Nobody made runs, but also Spokane gave her too much space. Haley Thomas, you have to close that down. You have to force her to make a choice instead. She gets the fielder's choice. She curls one to the back post, and it's 1-0 Fort Lauderdale.
Shania Gordon, some way to open the scoring in this match. They needed just one goal against Dallas to get all 3 points last time out, as Kiara Locklear, who scored the lone goal of the match. Very good defensively, a team effort as Tyrone Mears describes it, not just with the back line keeping just one goal allowed in the last 3 games, but a team effort that has made them hard to break down.
And it's interesting with Gordon as well. She spent some time playing on the back line. She was playing a little bit of outside back, and I think that was just to, try to complement the pace that she brings on those outside channels. But I've loved the movement of her back up on that front line. She just brings a pacier look for Fort Lauderdale, and she's obviously a very dangerous weapon for them up top.
So the only thing that would change if all results hold, if results hold will probably be the most said phrase in this broadcast over the next 80+ minutes. But if things hold, it'd be Fort Lauderdale 3, Dallas 4 would be the playoff spots. Spokane would be on the outside looking in. Remember, Fort Lauderdale just need a draw. Tyrone Mears says they're going for the win. There's no need to be at all cautious about things. Rolled into the box. Cook has a shot, and she equalizes. A tidy finish. Gets that one into the back of the net. Cosette Morche caught in an awkward spot. And within 10 minutes, a goal apiece. We're back level.
You think this is the season finale here of the regular season? My goodness, what an answer from Spokane. I was so disappointed in how they played defensively, but this is beautiful, and this is Spokane football to a T. Get the ball out to the wide channels, kick it into the midfield, and then feed your target players. I said they need to run this game through their game makers, and they do so with Allie Cook shifting across. It's a difficult finish as well. Look at her curling it just past Morche, and we're level at 1 apiece.
How about this for a start? It's just giving you the update when it was Fort Lauderdale 1, Spokane 0. It took just a few moments for the game to flip on its head again. All even at 1. That's going to be a free kick going against Spokane. Dead ball opportunity for Fort Lauderdale.
Allie Cook has just been a tremendous signing for Joe Johnson's side. They added her this spring, and she got out to a hot start. She couldn't stop scoring goals, it felt like, when she was inserted into this lineup. She scores 53% of the shots that she takes, and you see it unfold there on the other side. But sometimes, Jack, all it takes is that one player to really turn things around. I talked about how the winter break was much needed for Spokane. One of the reasons why was because they were able to reload and bring in a player like Allie Cook.
Makes it now 6 goals in the season for Cook. She's had some big moments, including the winner against Tampa Bay early on in the season. Late on, that was when they were just picking up late wins upon late wins. Ekich had one in a 3-2 win over DC Power. It was followed up by a 93rd minute winner against Tampa Bay. That was from Cook, just on a fantastic finish. So they were able to pick up 4 points, turn draws into wins, and it has them in this spot. There's a foul there. There was a good opportunity on the attack, but a push from behind gives Spokane a free kick. But Cook, a forward who can bring in defenders, play with her back to goal, and just caught Cosette Morche in an awkward spot. She turned super quick and had a really tidy finish.
A lot of times with goalkeeping as well, and I'm no goalkeeper, so take this with a grain of salt, but it can be challenging on some of the easiest plays that you think will be easy, trying to make those saves. I think she just got caught a little too close to that front post, left way too much space open on the backside, and when you have a goal scorer like Allie Cook who can identify those small channels like that, it leaves you vulnerable. But maybe that means going forward, she kind of learns from that mistake, and this Fort Lauderdale back line as well recognizes how much of a threat she is.
Jasmine got it to Bourgeois. Elmer plays it out wide. Thomas forward. There's Cook operating in a wide position. Ekic has slid into a central role. Long to Cummings. A lot of numbers forward in black. Cummings' first option intercepted. Ekic on the turn. Fires one along to Cook. Already one goal on the day. That shot a little under hit. Morche able to claim it.
Amina Ekic was making a darting run across the box there, was looking for it to be fed more down the left side of that box there. Instead, Ali Cook just gets a little excited after scoring that first goal, elects to go for goal instead. But this is the challenging part about playing against a team like Spokane. Number one, they can turn a match on their head, as you laid out a few minutes ago. But I think as well, when you look at the way their players rotate, you just have to keep your head on a swivel constantly, because Ali Cook at 1 minute can be stretching the field vertically, and then she's stretching the field horizontally, and then you've got Ekic making a darting run across to the opposite side of the field. It can be very challenging to keep up with defensively, but Fort Lauderdale just has to stay disciplined and keep their men in front of them.
127 seconds separated the two goals. 2 minutes, 7 seconds between the Gordon and the Cook goals. That's how we're at 1-1 right now, 14 minutes into this contest. Well, if you scan now, you'll be able to win 1 of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you, Caruso's, The Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, TT's Barbecue, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Method Juice Cafe. Tussle there is going to be a free kick going against Spokane. Near side. Fort Lauderdale creeping forward. Moved centrally by McNeil. Good pass, picks out Allen. Puck gets picked from behind by Balata. Swung along, aiming for Gordon. It's overhit a little bit, and Haley Thomas, already seen a few tussles between them so far.
Fort Lauderdale had the numbers advantage, but because Spokane was able to move over, it sort of shut down a lot of those passing triangles that Fort Lauderdale was looking for.
Ekic, Cook, turns, pokes it along. It's going to be out for a Fort Lauderdale throw-in. No nonsense clearance upfield. Thomas got through it. It's pushed forward by Brooks. Good bit of control, brings that one down out of the sky, and it's McNeil now. Clipped over the top, aiming for the run of Allen, trying to get there. Bourgeois to it first, and does very well. Kicks it off of Allen. Out for a goal kick.
Normally I love that ball over the back line there. Unfortunately, Bourgeois is one of the paciest players in this league, so a 50-50 ball is really more like 75-25 in favor of Bourgeois. But I'm liking the battle that I've seen so far between Allen and Bourgeois on that left side. It's been fun to see those two go head-to-head.
Treble. Redo the goal kick. We can look at what's happening elsewhere in Dallas. It's very important. That match about an hour ahead of us. You're watching the bottom right of your screen. But a turnover at the back was very important. Chioma Obogugu able to latch onto it and double the advantage for Dallas. They're up 2-0 over a Carolina team who don't need a result. They just want to avoid injury, avoid anything major happening. It's 2-0 in Dallas, which would mean they would guarantee themselves a playoff spot. And as things stand, Fort Lauderdale would find themselves in with a point being enough, but they're searching for more. They have a corner here. It's Smith who's looking to take this one. ICCU corner kick, whipped into the box, punched away. That one last touching Fort Lauderdale. A goal kick comes.
Stakes are so high this weekend. You mentioned Dallas having basically everything to play for. It's interesting with Carolina, they're not normally a team to mail it in, and that's not to say they're mailing it in. You know, we're focused on this game, but I'm curious to see what the comeback looks like maybe as the second half continues here, because again, they're trying to be in full form as the #1 overall seed.
past the hour mark. It's 2-0 in Dallas. But Dallas in the playoffs, and as Fort Lauderdale held an edge over Spokane entering the day, it would mean only one of these two teams can make it, and it would be the winner, or if it holds as a draw. In the case of a tie, it goes to Fort Lauderdale. Hold that oh so important tiebreaker. They've played 3 times. There was 2 draws, and there was the 2-1 win for Fort Lauderdale. Good drop of the shoulder from Bourgeois. As Weinert to her outside. She's taken down. Weinert squares it centrally. Jaskinek trying to move it along one further to Ekic. Tackle keeps the move alive. It's good advantage play by the referee to keep things moving, but it's turned over and launched upfield.
Jaskinek just got that ball caught underneath her. I wish she would have hit it first time. She would have had much more success, but the way Spokane can turn a possession on its head, just a couple of quick passes through the midfield, and then boom, they're putting boxes in to challenge inside the box.
That hit a hand. Yes, it did. Windermere Foundation is thrilled to welcome our charity of the month. It's more than a home. It's a way to give back. Please visit our site at www.windermerefoundation.com. 20 minutes down here. Goals for Shania Gordon and Allie Cook. In the first 10 minutes, really the first major chances for both teams translated to goals. It's going to be a long one launched forward from Brooks. It's allowed to bounce through and seen out for a goal kick for Spokane.
It was interesting to see the communication on that set piece there from Fort Lauderdale. You could tell that Brooks was trying to get her teammates across, kind of across that back post. No one was home though. Shania Gordon was the closest, but her run was just mistimed.
Cummings with the goal kick takes it to Heisey. Heisey, after being pressed, launches one upfield. Wonderful cushion touchdown by Cook, not able to link up with Jaskinek, and is appealing to the referee that she was pulled.
It's the striker way, Jack. You have to ask the referee for a foul when you're taken down as a forward. We don't make the rules.
Comes out for a throw-in, but don't you run the risk of getting on the wrong side of the official? It's a tightrope to walk.
It is a tightrope to walk. You have to sweeten them up a little bit and then get your point across.
Elmer, it's back to Cummings. Clark moves it along. Bourgeois on a high arcing pass, brings it down. Weinert keeps it in play. She's bowled over though by Allen, and that's going to be a yellow card. Cheyenne Allen is the first player cautioned in our match so far today. Just brings down her opposing fullback.
Yellow card given to Fort Lauderdale's number 3, Cheyenne Allen, in the 22nd minute.
It was Weinert, rather. So Allen, the forward, on a yellow card, and it's a free kick here. Sydney Cummings standing over it. Got some numbers along the back line of Fort Lauderdale. And it's in a spot where they could try and drop something forward and cause some chaos. Cummings opts for a ball into the midfield. Jaskinek moves it along. Here's Weinert, one-on-one. Gets past her opponents. Weinert driving in, trying to cut a pass along to Balata. It's moved into the area, top of the box. It falls to Cook. And her shot was a challenging one to generate the required power. It goes wide of goal.
I love the way Spokane drew up this set piece, a little bit of a dummy situation there. They put numbers on that Fort Lauderdale back line, and then the short pass doing what they do best, those quick combination plays, trying to feed the ball in. Again, that final touch has just been lacking, I think, for both sides there in the open field of play, but have seen some moments of creativity from both teams on set pieces.
It's the second of the match now for Fort Lauderdale. Another one from that far side of the field. This will be an ICCU corner kick, your financial success fan club. Another one to defend for Spokane.
Very important for Spokane as well, whether it's set piecing, open, defending. They have a tendency to lose their marks a little bit, so making sure that they keep their players in front of them, huge.
This one dropped to the far side of the goal, nodded back into the mix, pushed away. Brooks brings it down, but it's seized upon. by Ekic. In the end, she was being held by Brooks. No free kicks, the results. It's one of those things, you know, Mina Ekic, what do you want to talk about with her? All of the glowing praise. Talking to Joe Johnson, it's the defensive side that she was most impressed with. The goal scoring and assist numbers stand for themselves, but her ability to help on both sides of the ball important.
And it's important to note, too, we talked about her two teammates getting called up on international duty. She was also called up as well, and yet elected to play this weekend with her team.
There's a free kick here and a yellow card going for the captain, Taylor Almer. A turnover at the back, and it was maybe in the end the wise choice to say, all right, maybe a yellow is the best thing here, but it's at the edge of the 18, maybe just in shooting range. And a yellow card apiece for both teams.
Not quite an obvious goal-denying opportunity there, but the pulling down contact, drawing Fort Lauderdale to the ground there. You're not really going to ever win that call as the defender in that situation, but our referee not afraid to pull out that yellow card in this match.
So Tati Fung is the player who stands over this. Fung has an option of a pass in the box if she wants it. She goes for the shot. It's deflected along the way. Hope Heisey did very well to stay put and make the save.
Not sure Hope Heisey ever really felt threatened in this situation. It's a good opportunity, but unfortunately Fung uses the wall. It kind of ricochets off. Hope Heisey was there. She read it the whole way. Not quite the power that Tati Fung wanted on that shot, I think, in order to make it dangerous.
Those stats up there, leading the league in those marks, joint lead and clean sheets. Very dominant between the sticks. Her team's in the attack. Ekic receives it with her back to goal and returns it. This one's lifted into the box. Weinert making things challenging, but Morshea always favorite to claim that one. Elite Minds, unlock your mind, unlock your game. Visit our website here today. Driving forward is McNeil. Moves it along, aiming for Allen. Her pass was a little under hit. Allen, it's going to spin kindly, kept it in play. And Sydney Cummings knocks it away for a throw in. But it spun just perfectly for the forward to stay in play.
Cheyenne Allen's been very impressive early in this matchup. Wasn't always a starter for Fort Lauderdale, but has earned her minutes. And you've seen why. Her impact on this left side of the pitch. She's sticking with plays as well, too, which is something that, you know, we have a tendency as soccer players. Sometimes we get a little lazy. We go in for that 50-50 ball and we pull up. But every single challenge she's been in, she's gone through 100%. Really impressive here from Allen.
She is on a yellow card, so that 100% mentality, you have to walk that tightrope. We've talked about that a couple times so far in this broadcast. Gordon trying to keep it in play, unable to do so. It's a Spokane throw-in, past the halfway mark of our first 45. Still a 2-0 edge for Dallas at home against Carolina, which doesn't really impact strategy yet. Obviously, you'll wait for that to go final and know the exact complexion. But if that goes final, a draw wouldn't be enough for Spokane. They would need a win. Looking forward there, Almer, Cook. Always a challenge to keep that one in play. It runs out. Goal kick is the result.
Spokane really trying to find success on that diagonal ball coming from right to left. To your point, Morshea read it the whole way that time, but will be interesting to see if that tactic sticks, if they're going to stick towards this right side where they've seen a lot of their strength, or if we see some action coming from the left side as well, too. You'll notice Mackenzie Weinert playing on this right side. Her and Amina Ekic have already swapped since we've shown our starting 11.
Brooks just clips one forward. Returned to Brooks. There's Morshea. Gordon dropping off front line. Intercepted. Weinert steps onto it. Cuts it along. Gets it to Cook. That's a poor touch. Comes along for Amina Ekic, trying to lift one past her opponent. Unable to do so. Jaskinik on the press. Forces a long ball forward. Comes out of play. Spokane throw in. COR Institute, your wellness playground. Nearing the half-hour mark here in Spokane. A lot of black in the crowd for a blackout theme, trying to bring a lot of atmosphere for this final home match of the season. Move near side. Weinert makes the pass forward for Cook. She goes down in the area, back to her feet quickly. There's some half-hearted appeals from Spokane fans for a foul, nothing given. It's out for a throw-in for their side.
I think that's a good no call from the referee. Allie Cook just kind of leaned her body into her defender there. We see that a lot. It's a tactic for forwards trying to draw the foul, but clean challenge from Fort Lauderdale's back line.
Here it comes for a corner kick. It's the first of the match as a corner option. It's going to be Amina Ekic who goes to take. Allie Cook may be a target for her in the box on this ICCU corner kick. Your Financial Success Fan Club. It was an Olympico that won it at DC in their last match 18 days ago. Ekic with an in-swinging option. Puts it to the near post under hit. We'll do it again. That one, no nonsense, is pushed away. Home fans on hand as Ekic has another crack, this one to the back post. So the first one a little under hit, that one a little over hit. It comes out for a throw in for Fort Lauderdale.
Not the best corner kicks that we've seen from Amina Ekic, obviously. She found a way to score last week.
She used all her juice on that
She
one.
must have used all her juice, exactly.
It's back in the build-up here with Fort Lauderdale after two failed corners from Spokane. Hansbrough puts it upfield. It's going to drop in the end. Morshea, under the pressure of Ekic, goes long. It's flicked along, but Cummings always favored to get to this one. Ekic poked away from her feet. Good defensive work. Pass over the top. It's a dangerous one. Heisey off her line. Able to get there first. Good work by the goalkeeper to avoid having to defend against a one-on-one. And a foul in the midfield, Tati Fung bringing down Almer.
Important moment for Hope Heisey to come out on that play. That's exactly how Sabrina McNeil scored when she found the back of the net. I believe that was against DC a few games ago. But Fort Lauderdale, as I mentioned, with Cheyenne Allen, is always going to put 100% going forward. So Hope Heisey has to be strong, has to be aware when those 50-50 balls are coming out that there's going to be someone for Fort Lauderdale crashing on that back line.
Amina Ekic spies a quick corner can be taken. Alyssa Bourgeois cuts it back. Amina Ekic has a shot and it's saved. Morshea, a vital intervention. She was almost leaning to that far post. Ekic lasered it at the near post. But Morshea gets low and makes a stop.
Look at how close this save was. First of all, I love the creativity on the corner kick there. Ekic, what a laser at that front post. And you mentioned it, Morshea was moving the other way, so she has to make the adjust midway through to make the save. The window was so tight for both of those players. I can't believe that didn't go in, but also what a save from Morshea.
10 goals, 6 assists this season for Amina Ekic, a Player of the Year contender. Spokane fans will hope she has one or two more moments of magic left in her this regular season. They're appealing for a handball, not given. Ekic forward. That pass, though, out for a throw in.
Interesting as well, Jack. We've been talking about Amina Ekic and that defensive development that we've seen over the spring slate. You just saw her there. She went from nearly finding the second goal of the game for Spokane to dropping all the way back into her defensive third to help prevent another attack from Fort Lauderdale.
Allen to the end line. Puts the brakes on. One-on-one with Bourgeois. Lasers it in for Fung. Just can't get her feet right there. It rolls out for a goal kick. Well, if you scan the QR code, you can vote for your favorite Lumberbeard co-branded can. The winning can will be sold in stadium and select stores next month. Lumberbeard, your preferred craft brewery partner of USL Spokane. High C. Rolled forward. McNeil near side. It's blocked. Spins for Ekich here. Rolls out, throw in for Fort Lauderdale. You talked about that versatility in the front for Spokane. They've flip-flopped around. Here's Allen on the other end. Driving forward. What a tackle from Bourgeois. Got the ball there. Plays it forward to Ekich, who's gone from left to right so far in this match. And Jaskinek to Cummings.
Spokane playing with so much composure. Excuse me. Speaking of composure, I couldn't find the word there. They're playing with so much composure in their back. They're passing it clean, but it was physical.
Yeah. This is going to spin for Ekich in a bit of space. Her shot saved by Morche. Stopped a few times, Ekich has been, by Morche. Low ball rolled forward. Laid off, too heavy on the pass, out for a throw in.
That left side of the field, the far side on your screen, really hasn't gotten much traction. We've seen much of the game be played in this closer outside channel between Allen and Ekich and some of those other players. Bourgeois sort of checking into that left side or that right side of the field. I am curious if either coach is sort of thinking about ways they can unlock the other side of the field, maybe catch one another off guard, because at this point you're looking at a 1-1 tie going into halftime. Still got 10 minutes, but
here's Jaskinek trying to unlock that. Jaskinek just one too many passes. Couldn't get that one to come off. And Bourgeois on your side will take a throw in. Cook makes an angled run. Ekich, first time ball aiming for Weinert. It's allowed to drop. Clearance up and away over the head of Fung. Allen is fouled by Bourgeois. That results in a free kick. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select is the player's choice.
the chemistry between that Spokane front line is just so much fun to watch, between Ekich and Cook and Weinert, the way they build and combine across that front line. It was a perfect example of all three of them being involved on that last attack. It's really challenging for Fort Lauderdale, but I think defensively they've done a good job of settling into those numbers, making sure that there's always bodies when Spokane is sort of crossing into the box, trying to build those combination plays.
You can see the idea there, lifting a pass forward. Can't pull it off and find Julia Grosso. So it's out for a throw in. Grosso will be the one to take. The start of the season for Grosso. Throws it in. Gordon, that's a good turn, and she's fouled. Weiner bringing down her opponent. So the free kick, Weiner avoids any additional punishment.
I'm just a little surprised she didn't get a yellow card
You
on
gestured
that.
for the yellow right after it
Especially,
happened.
well, since just based on the yellow cards that we've seen to this point, that one to me falls in that same category, but our referee disagrees.
Smith stands over this free kick here in the 40th minute. Able to take it until the referee has a quick word with those jostling for position in the penalty area. Smith delivers. It's nodded away by Ekic. Grosso. No nonsense clearance upfield. It's one that Ekic is going to chase after. It's turned over. Spokane a few numbers forward, including Ekic. Gets onside, receives it. That pass, though, centrally, easily spotted out. Launched upfield, and Hope Heisey can go claim it.
Disappointing final touch there from Ekic. You could see the wheels turning, though, with this Spokane attack. That high press, they like to pick off those passes and immediately go on the counter attack there.
Over the top, aiming for Weinert. It's a good ball. First time shot, ambitious. Slices her efforts, and it results in a goal kick.
Listen, I love the confidence from Mackenzie Weinert. That's a tough finish as well. Going full speed. But I like the soccer IQ there. She takes just a quick peek up, notices Cosette Morche kind of off her line a little bit there, tried to catch her just a little bit.
Referee's going to have a word here. Probably just a last warning situation that don't be passing it around without putting it into play. And Cosette Morche is the one getting the discipline there. It's important to note that a draw is enough. It's 83rd minute in Dallas. Dallas still up 2-0, so barring a dramatic late turnaround for Carolina just to ruin the Dallas fans' day, it's going to be Dallas who make the playoffs and tee us up for a grandstand finish here in Spokane for the final minutes of the regular season. Ekic receives it again. Gordon got a toe to it. It's out for a throw. They hit a hand along the way. So it's a free kick for Spokane right around halfway. Shania Gordon making that argument.
It's almost like she's saying it went off my head, but
Gordon with the first goal of the match. In the 8th minute, Allie Cook equalizing in the 10th. A burst of early chances. We've settled into the match since then. This is allowed to drop. Weiner on it. Gets past a few challenges, cuts it back for Bourgeois. Driving at the defense. It slid wide. Not able to be kept in play. Fort Lauderdale throw in.
that's not the move from Haley Thomas. You could tell she wanted Amina to make that run down the sideline, but Amina was already holding her run. She's like, if I go any further, I'm going to be offsides.
That touch invites some pressure. There's a slip as well. Ekic on hand, taking a keen interest. Just a clever back heel by Grosso, earns the throw in.
But again, it's the defense there by Ekic that we're watching. Tries to stick her leg in between, trying to win the ball back. Anything she can to get her foot on this ball.
It's a strong challenge. But it went out of play. Throw in. She's to win player of the year. Might be her goals and assists that get her that nod, but the defensive side has added that all-round component to her. So if you're going to say someone's player of the year, she feels very deserving.
I think so too, and it's hard watching all of these players as the season has rolled along. There's so many players who I think are deserving of this, but when you look at, to your point, all across the board, just what she's been able to accomplish this year, she does it all.
Here she is in the 18-yard box. That touch centrally, poor by her standards. It comes out. Gordon not able to build an easy angle. Tied with Allie Thornton of Dallas with the most goal contributions in the league. Addie McCain will be a player who also has that argument. 10 goals, 2 assists. 8 of those goals came in the fall. She shifted to more of a defensive role in the midfield, where Tyrone Mears feels her best position is. That's going to be a foul. Strong challenge put in by Tati Fung. Doesn't look like there's going to be any extra discipline metered out here.
Bourgeois is just causing so much difficulty for this Fort Lauderdale defense, particularly on the left side. She's just so shifty. She's trying to cut through those 2 players, and Fung gets her full body into it.
Still just the 1 yellow apiece. Taylor Almer, Cheyenne Allen, the only players booked. Seen a few maybe get let off in these last few moments. Here's we tick into first half stoppage time. Amina Ekic has a line of players making themselves available. This one lifted into the area, nodded across. Going to come out here for a throw-in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official has indicated a minimum of 1 minute of stoppage.
1 minute added on at the end of this first 45. Stoppage time presented by Rosauer Supermarket. Maybe there's 30 seconds left of our first 45 minutes. It's going to be a throw-in deep inside the defensive half for Fort Lauderdale. Knocked upfield. Going to do it for our first 45. 1-1 between Spokane and Fort Lauderdale. Haley, your thoughts on the first 45?
Really brilliant play from both sides of this matchup. I thought it was really good of Fort Lauderdale to get in on the front foot, find that early goal, but Spokane, the resiliency to find the equalizer. This one's going to come down to, it feels like a 1-goal differential, of course. All the stakes are high here, Jack, but it's been an entertaining one so far.
Has been entertaining. Do you imagine things changing? It's still a win right now for Dallas, second 45, especially for Spokane.
As far as the matchups go, I think both of these teams come in second half, keep things the same. They've had a lot of success either way, but I think as we inch closer to maybe the end of the game, we start to see some changes, maybe some players offensively checking into the
We're with Allie Cook now. Allie, thank you for the time. Congrats on your goal. Just want to get what you made of that sequence for your goal.
Yeah, it was a great changing it to get to wide, and then a through ball in. It's dangerous, and then Emma connecting on the other side to me. I kind of saw an opening, and I just decided to shoot it, so yeah.
Yeah, it was a very tight opening, Allie, so again, congratulations on that finish.
Thank you.
As far as the second half goes, we don't need to lay out the situations for you guys. It's win and keep your season alive. How does Spokane do that in the second half?
Yeah, we come out, I guess, like we know the second half, it's ours to win. It's being competitive and winning the first and second ball and putting the goal in the back of the net. I think it's just a mentality. At this point, I think we're playing well, keeping it, and switching the point of attack. So then it's just final execution for us.
Thank you for the time, Allie. Best of luck the second 45 minutes.
Thank you.
Allie Cook, an equalizer after the goal from Shania Gordon, made it 1-0 Fort Lauderdale. It's all even at the break. And tonight's halftime brought to you by White Claw, distributed locally by the Odom Corporation. A good first 45 in the books. Halftime coming up next. Spokane, Fort Lauderdale, locked up at 1.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
What launches this ball? And finds the winner. Oh, what a play! It's a bending effort.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gamebridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, graded assists. Gamebridge, graded assists for your savings.
At Eastern Washington University, students and faculty work side by side to restore a lost prairie and decrease our carbon footprint. Composers are writing music to help us understand how salmon migrate. And urban and regional planning students partner with cities to gather the data they need to address homelessness. Interdisciplinary education that gets real about the real world. That's Eastern Washington University and you.
I'm a real wild one. Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a Bronco Sport Wild Edition for $339 a month for 36 months, or purchase with $3.9 for 36 and get $2,000 wild bonus cash.
Tonight's halftime is brought to you by White Claw, distributed locally by the Odom Corporation. 1-1 in this vital match between Spokane and Fort Lauderdale. We can look first at our news and notes from across the USL Super League. Carolina 1, Tampa 2. They're locked in. The semifinals coming up on June 7th and 8th. Or Sporting Jacks can join in 2025-26. Got to build a roster. Signing Scotland Youth International Georgia Brown and U.S. Youth National Team midfielder Ashlyn Huerta. 14 Super League players were also called up to their national teams. Sophia Braun unavailable for Spokane here today. Amina Ekic, very vitally, turning down a call-up for Bosnia and Herzegovina. So she is available here today. Been a very important contributor in the first 45 minutes. We can also look at what's happening elsewhere across the country. Very important results happening in Dallas. We've talked about it a few times already in the match today. These are brought to you by White Claw. There's a late goal there for Carolina. A little bit of late drama. We'll see if that goes final at 2-1 or if there's a chance that it comes back late in the game. Jada Bedoya able to get that and make it a 2-1 game. A little bit of drama late on, Haley.
We love the late drama. Shout out to Lexington and DC Power as well. I mean, we know this season didn't go the way they wanted it to for either of those squads, but a round of applause for a 3-3 draw there to end the season.
There'll be a lot to catch up on every Wednesday. Listen to USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. You can follow along all season on the SiriusXM app.
And a decision day is here, and it's all coming down to match week 35. We've got 3 teams still in the hunt for only 2 playoff spots available.
Plus, we are joined by Tampa Bay's captain, Jordan Listro. She talks about why she's so excited to be with the Sun this season, her unique relationship with her head coach, Denise Schulte-Brown, and why she can't wait for the playoffs in Tampa Bay.
Hello, Zephyr fans. You can scan the QR code on your screen for a chance to win a $100 gift card to Rizal Supermarket, the official grocery store for Spokane Velocity and Zephyr FC. It's all even 1-1 at the break. On the other side, it's our highlights and stats from the first 45 minutes in Spokane.
We've had exciting opportunities all throughout the first. It's going to be interesting to see what that golden goal looks like in the second.
Tonight's halftime stats are brought to you by White Claw, distributed locally by the Odom Corporation. Anything jump off the screen here?
Looking at the possession a little bit, I'm not surprised. Spokane, that's part of their game plan, equal level on yellow cards as well, too. Obviously, Spokane has had a lot more of the shots, but this has been very even, very similar to how we've seen them play as the season has rolled along.
1-1 between the sides. Those are your halftime stats between Spokane and Fort Lauderdale. We'll scan now and you will win one of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you to Caruso's, The Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, TT's Barbecue, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Method Juice Cafe. 1-1 between the sides at the break. Second half kick on the other side. Just moments away from our second 45 minutes between Spokane and Fort Lauderdale. One of these teams can make the playoffs, not both. We've gone final in Dallas. We'll touch on that more in a moment. We are ready for kickoff. There is a substitution to tell you about. Jorian Backham is coming in for Cheyenne Allen. The way you described it, Haley, was a yellow card sub. As you see kick resume, left to right will be Fort Lauderdale, right to left Spokane. What do you make of that substitution?
A multiple of things. To your point, the yellow card, Cheyenne was getting just a little physical there on the left side, so maybe just taking her out, protecting herself from herself. And also I think Jorian Backham brings a lot of size. She can be that holding forward for Fort Lauderdale that they've kind of missed on some of those long balls. So looking to maybe stretch the field a little bit and then also waste some time. We keep talking about the scenarios.
Ekich slid in behind early on, puts it onto her right foot. She slows down and passes it out of the 18 here to Thomas. Now it's Clark, fires it forward, it takes an awkward spin for Thomas, and that's last out off of Spokane. That was an interesting one from Ekich. Inside the 18, passes it out.
I just don't think she saw any windows for taking a shot there. I think Spokane, what's really interesting about the way they play is that it kind of takes a little bit of patience sometimes, which can be frustrating when you're in a scenario where you need to get goals scored there. But I actually like the decision, you know, and you're in the box, you never know what can happen. So certainly a little bit of a surprise, but
So it's 1-1 here, early on in our second 45 minutes. Grosso tossing it back into play. It finished final, Dallas 2, Carolina 1. They had that late goal, but that was all they wanted, just a little heart palpitation, nothing major. The 3 points go the way of Dallas, which means they button up their playoff spot. And as things stand, it's enough for Fort Lauderdale to slide themselves into the postseason. A draw would be enough. The playoff scenarios tighten up. It's a must-win situation for Spokane. Fort Lauderdale, a win or a draw is enough. You just see right there the final score. It's gone final in Dallas, 2-1. They're able to see things out with a very important win, final day of the season. The free kick goes the way of Mackenzie Weiner in the Spokane Zephyr. Long ball forward. It drops for Ekic. Ekic to the end line. Puts the brakes on and rolls it back. Almer. Cummings. Cook dropping off, trying to slide an option along. Not able to. Look at the live standings. Joe Johnson looking on. And Spokane on the outside looking in. Goal difference not the deciding factor. It's head-to-head. If this holds, it'd be 3 draws and 1 Fort Lauderdale win. And when these teams have met head-to-head, which gives them the tiebreaker, tied on 42 points.
The scenarios, man. I'm glad you're the one that has to pay super attention to those scenarios, and I get to react to them when you say them. But it just shows you how tight the margins are in this matchup. I think as well as we see a foul there.
Tati Fung might be a warning of last foul for her before she's booked. Just gets on the wrong side of Cook and brings down the center forward.
And ultimately, whenever you're using your hands in soccer, if you're going to try to do it, you have to be a little bit more coy than what Tati Fung was there just now. Can't pull down on an arm or a jersey. You're going to get the called every time.
Clark launches one forward to resume play. Weiner gets ahead to it. Able to keep it in the mix, but it's one back. Good defensive work by McNeil. Almer plays it up. Weiner gets to it first. Bourgeois, it crossed the line. It's out for a throw-in. So we've laid it out there. A draw is not enough for Spokane. When do you begin to deviate from your usual strategy, knowing you need a goal? Is there a cutoff time where you say, all right, the number's got to start going forward?
If I'm Joe Johnson, I definitely let this one run for another 10, 15 minutes. That, of course, is if the score holds. If you maybe let in another goal in the next 5 minutes or so, maybe you change your formation. You send another player forward so you have a high target player in Allie Cook, and then you give her some more support there through the midfield. But it's so hard to say because changing what has worked so well for you all spring for one moment, it's a risk, right? Because you're going against what has gotten you to this point in the first half. It's certainly a decision that I know Joe Johnson is already thinking about in these moments.
Shania Gordon, goal scorer in the first half. It's moved along, and a bit of space now is McCain. Didn't say her name a ton in the run of play in the first 45 minutes. Her pass forward aiming for Grosso. Runs out for a goal kick. Goals change games, and it's an obvious statement, but the next goal incredibly vital here. Fort Lauderdale scored. They give themselves basically a 2-goal cushion to make the playoffs. Spokane in need of one. They want their season to continue into next week. 1-2 attempted here. Jaskinik is closed down. It's out for a throw-in.
It's important as well, too, and I don't know whose job this is or if there's, a way that a player can pump up the crowd, but this is a home game for Spokane, and I think if you can get the supporters involved in the conversation as well, boosting up the players on the field, that also is a big impact. We talked about them doing the blackout, wearing the black to support the women out there on the pitch, but they're going to need to do something to get those fans riled up.
That's going to be a foul for the halftime substitute. Jorian Backham is whistled for that one, and have a few words with the referee. Adere Monroy is our head official. 6 minutes into our second 45. It's a free kick in the center circle. We've got Sarah Clark over it, and a number of Zephyr players forward, trying to make things difficult. Maybe cause some chaos from this set piece situation.
We have seen some creativity on these set pieces for Spokane in this game as well, too.
Clark launches one forward. It's too central. Morche off her line, easily claims. Elite minds unlock your mind, unlock your game. Visit our website here today. Gordon keeps it in play. It rolls back. Jaskinik trying to pass forward, but it goes all the way over the top. Hope Heisey off her line plays it to Clark. Under pressure, Clark does well to drive forward and play it to Thomas. Thomas to Ekic. Amina Ekic driving at the defense. Marked by a ton in white. The shot, it's saved there. Not a half bad effort. It rolled kindly for Emma Jaskinik. 1 goal, 2 assists on the season for her. This one saved.
And Amina just hesitated just a little bit there. She couldn't decide if she wanted to cut to her left or stick with the right foot that she was driving with. And it fell to Allie Cook. I think she just didn't get the full connection on that ball that she wanted.
Heisey puts one forward. Ekic down, trying to get it to Thomas. It's a little under hit. Grosso able to dive in for a challenge. Coming together there in the midfield, but it rolls Almer. Here's Cook, again with that hold-up play. Pokes it off for Balata. Did that bounce back to her? Referee's gonna pull it back. Advantage was played. And it's a free kick for Spokane.
You almost wonder if she would have played the double advantage there. Balata was, she got the lucky bounce and she was on her high horse there, but the ref had already blown her whistle. But what could have been?
Cummings. Bourgeois. It's that one taken off her foot. Good defensive work from Gordon. Not many options for her in the pass, so she's driving centrally with this one herself. Tracking back to win it was Bourgeois. When she fouled, referee playing advantage. It rolls away. Good work done by Brooks to win it. Morche drops it into the midfield. Cook challenges for it, but it's won by McCain. Now Brooks, first time.
Unfortunate that that play ended the way it did for Shania Gordon. She did such a good job of maintaining possession. That final touch as she cut in the middle just got away from her a little bit. She did get away, though, with that retaliation foul. I am curious to see if the ref goes back and potentially awards a card here, but almost looked like she was looking at it, but chooses not to. But, man, if she would have seen that, I think, in the run of play, it might have been a different outcome.
Gordon, good strength, but her pass only finds Almer. Clark. Cut back to Heisey. Over the top. It's one for Cook to chase. It goes past the goalkeeper and past the post. An anxious wait there after that one was last touched by Cook. It ends up with a goal kick.
Spokane's so dangerous when they get their center backs involved. Cindy Cummins puts this one on a platter, and Allie Cook actually doesn't get a touch on that. That's actually the center back there. I believe that's Cameron Brooks tracking. It ricochets. Yeah, ricochets off of Allie Cook there, so it would have been a lucky bounce nonetheless. But I think for me, I needed Morche with a little bit more communication in that moment.
You never like a goalkeeper going that far off their line and not getting the ball. It's rolled for the underlapping option. Fort Lauderdale in the attack here. Locklear being dragged out from a central position. Her pass centrally, able to find Smith. McCain, Fung. Now a chance for Locklear to drive at the defense. Move it on to her left. Moving centrally, plays it along. That touch opens Balata in on the press, wins it back. Pass to Ekic, asking too much from the forward. The challenge put in results in the throw. It's just a third start of the season for Winnie Balata. And with Katie Murray hurt and Sophia Braun on international duty, they've needed players to step up. And she's moved into this midfield role.
Joe Johnson talked about how composed she is in some of the big moments and the small moments. And what I've really liked about what she's done in this game is maybe offensively we haven't seen her footprint, but defensively the way she's dropping back deep. We just saw her win that ball and jumpstart the play for Spokane. She kind of does that hard work that doesn't get the credit.
On the overlap, Fort Lauderdale into the 18. It's cut across. That one just behind Locklear. Coming forward is Grosso. Moved centrally, laid off for McCain. This one just lifted and in the end goes wide of the goal. Call it a shot attempt there from Tati Fung. It's off target. Well, Zephyr fans, you can get match ready with the latest Zephyr merchandise. Shop online or in the team store at the Davenport Grand Hotel in Spokane. Off target there from Fung. Cummings will roll it to Heisey. Balata dropping into the midfield. Gives herself an option, plays it to Bourgeois. Weinert, Almer over the top. Weinert peeling off, trying to make that run forward. Morshea, no nonsense, under a little bit of pressure. The flag goes up for offside. It's a free kick for Spokane.
Bockham stretching the field just a little too much there.
Sydney Cummings with the ball in the back line. Plays it forward. Taylor Almer. Clark. Lifts one forward for Amina Ekic. She brings it down. Carries into the 18. Waiting for options with her. There's no one alongside her, but they win a corner kick on the far side of the field. All things considered, Dale Haley, a good result. No one there in the attack.
A rare moment there by the Spokane front line where they didn't have numbers crashing into the box, but to your point, they earn a corner kick, an area where we have seen them score several times this season.
This is an ICCU corner kick. Your financial success fan club. And ever since that Olympico, last time at DC United, or DC Power rather, it was a great ball in from Ekic, directly scoring from a corner for her third brace of the season. She puts another one into the box. It's dangerous over the goal. It's clearly trying to manifest another Olympico there. So Amina Ekic, who has 10 goals, 6 assists this season, a dangerous set-piece player. And on that corner, not able to generate anything of quality.
And you're noticing as well, you know, you asked me earlier, at what point do you think you start to feel that pressure a little bit if you're Spokane? I think we've already seen it. We've noticed a few moments here where they're really trying to force that big ball over, get Amina Ekic on either the left side or the right side, depending on where she sets up shop. But they've just been relentless in their attack. And Fort Lauderdale, as a result with Bockham, she's just kind of been stretching the field, so it puts them in situations like this.
Locklear in all sorts of space, gets on the end of it. She's marked now tightly. Only 2 options with her, now 3 in the 18. Locklear, patient, earns a corner. Good work from the forward. Able to generate an opportunity for a teammate, generate a set-piece opportunity with an ICCU corner kick.
Fort Lauderdale has just been really effective, I think, on the counter-attack today. Didn't really get an opportunity on net there, but did earn the corner.
Here is Taylor Smith. Out-swinging corner coming in from her. Just lifts one up. Heisey claims. Good work by the goalkeeper, going to the end of her line. If you scan now, you're able to win 1 of 20 unique restaurant discounts. Thank you to Caruso's, the Burger Dock, Flat Stick Pub, TT's Barbecue, Casa Tap House, IHOP, and Method Juice Cafe. Throw in for Spokane here, just past the hour mark. Jack Edwards, Haley Sutton here with you. We appreciate you joining us on the final regular season match of the inaugural USL Super League season. Shania Gordon got the goal scoring started in the 8th minute, quickly followed up 2 minutes and 7 seconds later by Allie Cook. Those are our goals as of now. And as of now, Fort Lauderdale are headed to the playoffs. This one into the near post for Ekich. It's cleared away. Cushioned down by Gordon. It's a point we'll hammer home. As of now, Fort Lauderdale in that number 4 spot. They would play at Carolina next weekend in the playoffs. Dallas clinching a playoff berth with a 2-1 win against Carolina just about a half hour ago. Rolled into the channel, too heavy for Bockham, but a throw-in earned by Fort Lauderdale. Thrown in. Bockham, just some hold-up play here. Rolls it back. Rosso. All the way to Smith. Puts one into the mix. No-nonsense header out by Cummings. Bockham, a good first flick. Drags it back across. Balata got a toe in. She was fouled in the 18. The chance gone. Not bad center forward play, though, from Bockham trying to chance.
Yeah, it's just a Kiara Locklear. I know we've been talking yellow cards all game long, but she's got to be careful. She's sitting on 7, and one more would earn her at least a fine.
Yeah. No carryover into the playoffs, but she would hit that yellow card accumulation point. So even if she did pick up a yellow, good for any potential playoff match. Currently, Fort Lauderdale in that playoff spot. Cushioned down. Kane goes to Gordon. It's important for Locklear. It's a player, you saw right there in that challenge, Haley, just goes in no matter what, trying to make something happen. Ty Ramirez says that's just something you can't take away from her game. It's just who she is as a player.
And I think sometimes, you know, players of that caliber, it's hard to teach that aspect of the game, right? Getting a player comfortable with being physical is one of the most difficult skills that you can teach, because there's that hesitancy, right? I don't want to go in too hard, but then I also don't want to go in too soft. And so I think, to Tyrone's point, you can't take that aspect of her game away, because it does change who she is as a player. Then she starts to hesitate. She starts to second guess herself. So it's either 100% or no percent from players like Kiara Locklear. And, you know, so far to this point,
Bourgeois lifts one in over the head of Cook. You can see what they were doing. Interesting to see Sarah Clark jump up a bit from center back into the base of the midfield to try and create something. But Kiara Locklear, a player to watch out for in the final 20-plus minutes. Not just of this match, but of the regular season. We've got 3 spots buttoned up. Dallas waiting to see whether they're going to be headed to Carolina or Tampa. That all depends on what happens here. Fort Lauderdale or Spokane win, they'll be taking on Carolina. But as things stand, it's a matchup between Dallas and Tampa, Fort Lauderdale and Carolina. Almer pushes one forward. It's allowed to drop. Good touchdown. Bourgeois puts one into the mix. Cook, already won today, trying to tack on another. It's pushed out. Here's Balata. Renee Balata moves it along. Ekich onto her left foot, and it's tipped along, is it? Yes, it is. A corner comes. Cosette Morche denying Ekich. Still 1-1.
that's her spot in the box, that far left or right, again, depending on which side she's on. But look how dangerous she is here, Jack. Just one little touch, and then she's immediately getting the shot off, and that's with her left foot. Take another look here. Just swings it, forces the touch from Morche.
Here's Ekich, an in-swinger. Morche gets a hand to it. Referee letting play continue. Almer down. Clark just tosses one into the mix. And just past the outstretched boot of Mackenzie Weinert. She wanted that one. It was a clever run. The pass just too heavy.
Yeah, clever run indeed. I want to take another look at it here. Weinert getting the timing just right. This is a great ball played in by Clark. Perfect weight. Unfortunately, Weinert just doesn't have the speed on that final touch to get that final touch. But you can tell Spokane has certainly ramped up the energy here on offense. They know what's at stake. We heard from Allie Cook at halftime. She said they had to have a strong winning mentality going into this second, and you've seen it already play out. The question is, though, is this a situation, Jack, where they've got all the momentum and then Fort Lauderdale finds a goal on the other side, or if Spokane's going to get rewarded for their effort?
No foul there. Despite the protests of Spokane, clipped forward. It comes out for a throw-in. Two subs in the midfield. Adelaide Komani will be coming in, and Daria Rache will also be coming into things. Rache coming into the match. So it's subs number 2 and 3, like for like in the midfield.
Entering the match, number 6, and Nelly Komani.
Komani and Raje coming into the match. So 3 subs made now by Fort Lauderdale. None as of yet by Spokane and Joe Johnson. It's one back by Weinert. Gets her feet tangled, loses out here.
Looking at the bench for Fort Lauderdale, or excuse me, for Spokane, it's interesting because we know they need a goal to be scored, and their best goal scorers are currently out on the pitch. You've got players like Natalie Vigiano, who found the back of the net, Molly Rouse as well. Kekel has come in and been an impact player, but I think for Spokane, the blessing and the curse is that this is their best 11 on the field. So any change you make maybe brings, you know, a break for some tired legs, or, you know, that substitution jump, but
first time ball too heavy, all the way back to Morche. Well, hello Zephyr fans, you can scan the QR code for your chance to win a $100 gift card to Rosauer Supermarkets, official grocery store of your Spokane Velocity and Zephyr FC. Akic on the press. Good work done to play through it. Cushioned by Locklear. Touch the second one, a little under hit. It comes out now. Throw in Spokane the result. Knocked out of play. Throw in coming for Fort Lauderdale.
you could tell as well, Allie Cook has become priority number one for this Fort Lauderdale back line. 3 different players surrounding her on that play.
Bockham pulls off the nutmeg, gets it to Locklear. Locklear rolls it along in the box. A good move from Fort Lauderdale, breaks down there. Just reaching to try and keep it alive. Was Komani not able to keep it.
Komani, I think, wanted a call on this play. She gets just a little bit of late contact there from Sydney Cummings, but it's a great run anyways. I love the slip ball there from Kiara Locklear too. I almost wish she would have went on goal just to sort of test Hope Heisey, see if they could get a lead in this matchup.
Header won by Komani. Over the top. No nonsense, knocked out of play. To throw in, Mina Ekic. Thomas tosses it in. Here's Ekic. That's going to be a foul. It's won by Ekic. It's won by Spokane. Julia Grosso committing it right by that corner flag. So it's basically a corner here. We see just some good strength from Ekic.
If I'm Tyrone Mears, I'm okay with making that foul. It's better than allowing Ekic to get free and get in and get a shot on net.
So Ekic just has a slightly differently placed corner kick. It's been high winds all afternoon, evening in Spokane. Temperatures dipping from the mid-80s down into the 70s. A chance for Ekic to swirl one into the 18. lifts this to the back post. Will we do it again? It appears so. Run it back. The whistle hadn't been blown. That might be the issue here. Ekic's delivery may have been a little overhit on the first time. She gets another crack at it. Ekic drives it into the box. That one knotted down just wide of goal. The second delivery far more dangerous. It goes just wide from Jaskinek.
Look at the frustration on Emma Jaskinek's face on this one, inches away from finding that lead. It's a good look. She flicks her head just right. Unfortunately, just doesn't get the angle quite right there.
So Winnie Balata makes way. It's her third start of the season. Plays for the first 72 minutes. Coming in now, Natalie Vigiano, her 27th appearance of the season. Last night, Vigiano came on for just a minute to assist Amina Ekic for her 10th goal of the season. Could she have a similar impact for Spokane? Fort Lauderdale? We'll certainly hope not. Flick towards goal. Bourgeois. High C. Manages to get that one away. It's out for a throw-in. Well, if you scan the QR code, you can vote for your favorite Lumberbeard co-branded can. The winning can will be sold in stadium and select stores next month. Lumberbeard is your preferred craft brewery partner of USL Spokane. Almer comes away with it. Turns it to Cummings. Passing through the midfield. It's a dangerous ball forward. Aiming for Gordon. Intercepted by Bourgeois. She's a little slow to get back up. Almer playing it. Bourgeois still down. And it's turned over. See Gordon calling for it. Bourgeois. Cut to the end of the line. Will it fall in the area? Cummings clears it away. Jorian Backham in the area trying to make an impact. Alyssa Bourgeois just a little slow moving around here, and she needs a bit of help. Be a big impact if the right back is unable to feature. While she gets some treatment done. We've talked big picture about some of the awards that will be doled out this season. You have to imagine Addie McCain will be one of those players come award time. She's had a very good run against Spokane in particular, with 2 goals scored in the 3 matches she's appeared in. She scored the equalizer when these teams last met here. The tidy finish there does not get home. The first goal in club history made it 1-1 when they met at One Spokane Stadium in August of last year. And in the second meeting at Beyond Bankert Field, she scored the first and only goal in a 1-1 draw. She was able to score the first in a 2-1 win. Just a tidy finish by her in December of 2024. That made things 1-0. They'd see things out with a 2-1 win, and that result's very important, Haley, because that's the tiebreaker so many months ago that currently gives Fort Lauderdale that tiny edge over Spokane. Because they won that match, they hold the tiebreaker. There's the Golden Boot race. Allie Thornton holding the outright lead with 13 and a joint goal contribution lead with Amina Ekic.
One of the things I thought was interesting about our conversation with Tyrone Mears, he talked about Addie McCain and her development over the season. And obviously everyone got attached to her name as a goal scorer because they didn't really have a true number 9 in the fall for Fort Lauderdale. So she stepped up to the plate. She found a way to find the back of the net and earned herself 10 goals. She's been a little bit quiet in this spring side, and Mears told us it's because you know, she's dropped back into the mix and she's trying to be more of a distributor. They like to play the ball through her rather than getting her set up for goals. So not only is she a goal scorer, Jack, but just can get it done all across the board. A really great player as well.
Jasmine Hamid coming in for Julia Grosso as Bourgeois is testing out that leg. But Hamid coming into the match. Vigiano. Cushioned down. Was there a foul there? No. Yes, there is a foul. If he was playing advantage. So it's a free kick for Fort Lauderdale here. Well, stay up to date with the USL Super League. You can sign up for the Super newsletter. You can get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at uslsuperleague.com/newsletter. Daria Rajay is standing over this free kick. Chance to put one in the mix. Fort Lauderdale in as it stands, but one more goal makes them that much more comfortable. Rajay's delivery, angled poorly, it returns to her. Vigiano got a foot in there. It's knocked forward. Ekic dropping off. Second touch more decisive. It's moved along to Vigiano. Keeps it in play.
There's that aggressive nature we talked about when it comes to Kiara Locklear. You saw there, it's not quite reckless when she goes in on tackles, but it is 100% when she's coming in. So if you're the defender, you also have to be sturdy and strong in your tackle. Otherwise, she's going to come right through you.
Shania Gordon moved back to her original position, has the lone goal for Fort Lauderdale. Allie Cook the goal for Spokane.
Looks like Mears dropped Gordon back a little deep, almost did the swap with Hamid as well. So Hamid playing a more natural forward position that we've seen from her this spring.
Good hold-up play from Cook. Back to Clark. Played forward to a return Bourgeois. Back heel comes off. At the end line, keeping it in play, but High C claims. 10.5 minutes left of our 90. No goals since the first 10 minutes. Fort Lauderdale are in as it stands. Spokane out. They only got into the playoffs for the first time on May 7th. A massive surge in form, a turnaround. 2 wins and 14 in the fall, 9 and 13 in the spring. That uptick has gotten them into this spot where they have 41 points entering the day. They'd be on 42, level with Fort Lauderdale, but missing the tiebreaker over their rivals from South Florida. It's a free kick here for the home side. Chance for Amina Ekic to try and carve something out.
One of my keys to the game earlier in this match, score on set pieces if you're Spokane. You have the talent to do it, and I mentioned it. This game was going to have goals at a premium. This could be a huge moment for Ekic.
Amina Ekic serves one up. It falls, allowed to bounce. Shania Gordon sees it out. Goal kick the result. Hit a few Spokane heads in the box, but nothing major from that chance.
Final touch just wasn't there for Spokane. It was a great ball delivered in, not much more you could ask for. And these are the moments for Spokane where, as difficult as it is, that word that eluded me earlier, composure, is going to be so important for them in this final 10 minutes because it can start to feel frantic, right? Your season is flashing in front of you. You want to make sure you can keep it alive, but you also, like I talked about earlier, have to stick to your game plan at least a little bit. It's where you're comfortable playing, and you don't want to get out of sorts because you're trying to win a match.
The pass back to Heisey. It was a little under hit, but she did well to recover. Cushioned down by Cook. Allie Cook. Almer. Thomas. Here's Clark. Lifts one forward, aiming for Cook. She's fouled here. Makes a heavy fall down. Shania Gordon may have gotten away with booting the ball away as well. Sarah Clark over this one. It's been a mixture of Clark and Ekich that have taken these. There's a yellow distributed there. We'll get you confirmation on who was booked in that sea of players. Adore Monroy writes the name down in her pocketbook. A tight clump of players. Laurel Ansbro, the player booked for Fort Lauderdale. Dropped into the area, flicked along. That one just wide. A goal kick, the result. A tight angle. Not quite able to turn it on frame. Let's see this one again.
Great ball in by Clark. And it's good defense by Fort Lauderdale, too. You see them just collapse. Sydney Cummings getting the final touch. It's just good defense. Allie Cook is there in the mix. Cummings, like I said, gets that final touch. But Fort Lauderdale knows what's at stake and locked down on that defensive effort.
Ansbro booked. May have just been for dissent. May have been for the foul. This one comes along. Baca making things difficult. Into the final minutes of the 28th match of these clubs' seasons. 42 points apiece, but a head-to-head result in Florida in December is what separates them as the tiebreaker. Put into the mix to the far post. The header back up. Bourgeois gets there. Staying around is McNeil. It bounces around, throw in to Fort Lauderdale.
You can see Bourgeois, that knee. They were looking at it down when she was down a few minutes ago, kind of limping. Still in the game. I think she realizes that this could be her final game of the season, so trying to gut through it, but certainly something to key in on if you're Fort Lauderdale these final few minutes, knowing how big of an impact she's been in the game so far. Can you maybe add a little bit more pressure defensively on her?
One, two, quickly played. Creeping towards the defense. Hamid skips past one, cutting it back. Goes through the crowd. Comes along for Gordon. First time, gets under that shot, and it goes off frame. Goal kick, the result.
A little bit of happy feet there from Shania Gordon, but man, we see the impact that Jasmine Hamid has on the match almost immediately. That quick combination, getting around the injured Bourgeois there on the left side. I think if she wanted to, she probably could have taken a few more touches as well.
Far side of the field. McNeil loses out, fouled her opponent. It's a free kick for Spokane.
And it's Bourgeois again that's
She's
down.
some amount of pain.
Has won the Zephyr team signed ball. You can pick this up at the team store.
Bourgeois fighting through these final moments, trying to hang around. An 11-6 shot edge for Spokane. Quality has been relatively even of those opportunities. Here's a pass over the top. Morshea gets there and slows her slide to make sure she doesn't carry it outside the 18. Good work from the goalkeeper. We'll keep a clean sheet today, but this would be enough. Home fans know they need one more moment, one more goal, or Spokane's season ends here today. Almer wins it. Knocked up field. Hamid chasing it, keeps it alive. Darts past one, she's fouled. Bourgeois just bringing down Hamid. And it's going to be a yellow card for Alyssa Bourgeois.
I know the crowd doesn't like it, but the referee has to give the yellow in that one. And it's tough there because Bourgeois dealing with that injury that we saw a few minutes ago. And sometimes, you know you're beat, you reach the hand, you pull down anything you can get to slow up an opportunity on net. Hamid just winning that ball, and there's the play right there you see with that left hand grabbing on the jersey.
Julian Valorand is coming in place of Bourgeois. So Bourgeois makes way. Valorand comes in. Yellow card only aided that decision. She was pretty banged up. So Bourgeois' day comes to an end here, just minutes short of full time.
Yellow card issued to number 12, Alyssa Bourgeois, at the 82nd minute.
Wall for Spokane. There's 3 in it. There's 3 preparing for a free kick. There is no way, Haley, this is going into the 18-yard box.
Definitely not. Going straight to that corner flag to hold it up.
Almer. That's last off Hamid. Goal kick the results. High C. Booms one upfield. Few headers, flicking it along. Cummings gets to it first. Plays it to High C. On ball upfield. In the midfield by Almer. Fort Lauderdale in, Spokane out. As it stands. Those are the stakes as we near stoppage time. Clipped over the top. Komani gets there. No one in the 18 to support her. Numbers are back defensively, and they know the corner flag, just keeping it around here, is as good as a goal. It's out for a throw in.
Spokane running out of time. You can kind of feel the situation settling in as well. You don't want to get too low. There's still stoppage time that we're expecting. Joe Johnson looking for that stoppage time, trying to figure out how much more time her team has to stay in this match.
Bacum, it's knocked out. Throw in Fort Lauderdale. Second half stoppage time is presented by Rosaur Supermarkets. There's 4 minutes added on. 4 minutes left of the regular season. To determine the 4th and final playoff team. Ekich being held back here. That's going to be a foul. That's going to be a yellow card. No nonsense decision there. Referee's going to have to whistle to restart play.
Tough there from Spokane. They wanted to get the action going quickly so they could take advantage of all 4 minutes of the stoppage. We have seen this team score late in matchups. Allie Cook did it in that Tampa Bay game.
They're going to do that free kick again, I believe. Whistle hadn't gone. Maybe it was the location of the free kick, but we'll do it over again. Heisey launches it upfield. First header won by Fort Lauderdale. Almer got ahead to it, won back by the visiting side. Clipped over the top. Clark rolls it back. Here's Heisey. Dangerous pass forward. It comes off. Referee playing advantage. Here's Weinert. Puts it in the mix. It flicks along. It falls to Amina Ekic. And the shot stopped by Cosette Morche. Was that the chance they'd get in stoppage time?
That's the player you certainly want it to fall to if you want that opportunity. Tough clearance from the Fort Lauderdale back line. Ekic takes one too long of a touch. It gives the Fort Lauderdale defense a chance to recover, and Morche comes up big as well.
Allowed to drop. Clark fouled from behind. It is a free kick. Play restarts with Cummings. Another long ball forward. That one over hit. And Morche will force Cook to press her, then pick it up. It's going to fall here for Hamid. Hamid. Bacum. She'll let this one run to the corner flag. It goes out. It's a throw in for Fort Lauderdale.
Bacum playing the game very well in these final few minutes. She had the conversation with our referee.
There will be a sub here. Kiara Locklear will make way. Celia Gaynor will be coming onto the field. Locklear moved off, Gaynor on.
I don't know that I've ever seen a referee walk a player to the sideline to hustle her out there. Big move there from our Sentinel referee, Adore Monroy, excuse me.
30 seconds at the minimum, 4 added on remaining. It's a Spokane throw in. They launch it into play. Numbers forward in the press. It comes to Ekic. She's able to play it to Almer. Is there enough time for one last throw of the dice? Over the top. Cook slides it along. Weinert gets on the end of it. Morche closes down the angle. Weinert down in pain. Fort Lauderdale clear upfield. We've had the 4 minutes. Cummings, the captain Almer. Clark, that's a foul from behind. And in the 95th minute, a free kick here for Spokane.
Big moment here for Spokane, and you can see Amina Ekic and Sydney Cummings chatting about what it's going to look like here. We have seen those two players connect on set pieces in this spring slate. I'm also got my eyes on Mackenzie Weinert. She was down on that last opportunity. She collided with Morche, it looked like, and came up with a lower body, looked like her ankle. We also see Hope Heisey up in the mix here, so this feels like we're emptying the take here for what could be the final play.
Amina Ekic is the deepest line player for Spokane. They've scored 93rd minute winners against DC, against Tampa. Ekic scored directly from a free kick to win that match against DC. Can she put on the cape one more time and rescue Spokane's season? Amina Ekic hits the crowd, the wall, and that does it. Fort Lauderdale see it out and are headed to the postseason. They go on the road. A 1-1 draw is enough. And they set up a match at Carolina in the inaugural Super League playoffs.
What a moment. What a moment for Fort Lauderdale, a team that found themselves closer to the bottom of the table than the top throughout much of the fall slate. They reorganized in the spring and came back, and now they sneak in to that final playoff spot, our 4 seed in the postseason. And Jack, it was a 50-50 match, I think, between both of these teams, but ultimately I think Fort Lauderdale put themselves in situations to be successful, and they have certainly earned every moment of this win.
We can look at tonight's play of the match, which is brought to you by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. It's going to be the goal. A tidy finish here from Allie Cook. Wins our play of the match.
This was exciting for Spokane because they showed resilience after giving up a goal just about 2 minutes or so before this one. And they do what they do best. They combine through the outsides, feed it through the middle, and find their goal scorer, Allie Cook. It's not enough for today, but still a positive finish for Spokane.
Let's take a break. On the other side, we can talk to the playoff-bound Fort Lauderdale United. A 1-1 draw, enough to send the visitors to the postseason.
You want to retest this headset? Check, check, check. This is an interview headset. Can you hear me on the interview headset?
1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear us through the headset?
Yes, I do
Awesome.
now. Yes.
All your time, heart, and effort.
Post-match scenes here in Spokane. It's the visitors who celebrate. They're the 4 seed. They're headed to the postseason. We can look at tonight's match highlights brought to you by White Claw, distributed locally by the Odom Corporation. Jack Edwards, Haley Sutton here to round you out in the broadcast. It was a frenetic start to the game. Able to latch onto this long ball forward as Shania Gordon scores the first goal of the contest.
And I said it throughout the match, Haley Thomas just gave her too much space there. Shania Gordon is a proven goal scorer. She's really good in those outside channels, and she sees a moment and takes advantage of it. Nothing really Morshea could have done on that save. But then on the other side, it was a quick response. Spokane building from out wide, Bourgeois playing that penetrating ball across, and then they find their goal scorer in Allie Cook. This is a tremendous finish, just picking out the open space on the back post. It's not easy to find, and yet she catches Morshea just hugging a little too close to that front post.
That was the equalizing goal. There were some opportunities in the second half. Look at this one from Amina Ekic driving into the box. Able to just get this one to the top of the area. Draws a save out of Cosette Morshea.
It was a safe play here, I think, from Ekich. She really couldn't decide if she wanted to go left or right, got the lucky bounce to fall to Allie Cook, and she wasn't prepared to take a shot either, but there were still plenty of chances. They do a really good job, Spokane, of picking off passes in the midfield. You see it here, play it out wide to who else but Ekich, and we all thought this one was going in the back of the net. It gets a little touch there from Morshea to earn the corner, but they were trying to work this space all game long. Unfortunately for Ekich, just didn't fall.
72nd minute now here on our full-time highlights. There were some chances, but the defensive work from Fort Lauderdale just to keep themselves alive in this, that header going just wide.
I think all of us had a collective sigh on this play here. Looked so close to sneaking in past that front post, but Jaskinik not able to whip her head around on the finish. And then in the 90+, it's all you wanted for this to fall to Amina Ekich, and it's a humongous save from Fort Lauderdale's back line to hand them.
Cosette Morshea stepped up there. Shania Gordon scored the goal. We appreciate you joining us now, Shania. Congratulations on the goal, on the playoff berth. What does this moment mean for you and the team?
It means a lot to me and my team. It reflects all the hard work we've done this season, and I think we really deserve this, and this game just means a lot to us. So we're very happy and very proud.
Shania, talk us through your goal there, because it seemed like that defender just gave you so much space and you took advantage. What did you see on that play in the first?
Well, it was a good ball from Cam, so thanks to her. But, yeah, I just saw my opportunity to cut her, and then the far post was open, so I just clipped it in.
Looking ahead to next week, I know you're still celebrating, but what's the mentality of this team right now as they go into the postseason?
Just the same as it's been every game. Every game we treat every game the same, so it's not going to be any different. We're going to go back and do our routine during the week, just keep building on this performance, and, yeah, go into the playoffs with a good attitude.
Thank you for the time, Shania. Best luck in the playoffs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shania Gordon, the goal scorer. Your full-time stats here, presented by White Claw, distributed locally by the Odom Corporation. A lot of shots for Spokane, and we saw the chances. They had some moments, but Cosette Morshea, defenders and company, stepped up for Fort Lauderdale.
I thought this was a really great defensive effort from Fort Lauderdale. They were handed a lot in terms of that attack from Spokane. You see it there, 13 shots, and yet only one went in. It's a really great effort from Fort Lauderdale overall.
We can look at the playoffs. It's set. Carolina, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Dallas. Some good ones on June 7th and 8th, Haley.
I'm very excited. I'll be on the sidelines for both of these games, actually, so it's going to be a really exciting weekend for me. But I think as we've seen this season roll along, these are the four teams. In Spokane, I'd put them in here as well if it was them instead of Fort Lauderdale. But these are the teams that have really stood strong in this playoff, or in this run to the playoffs. Excited to see it get all underway next weekend.
What a regular season it was. Commiserations to Spokane, whose spring run comes to an end. 9 wins in the spring, not quite enough. They fall on the outside of the playoffs. Fort Lauderdale's season continues. They're headed to the postseason next week. My broadcast partner, Haley Sutton, Jack Edwards, and our entire production crew, we thank you for joining us. Join us next weekend on Peacock. Fort Lauderdale taking on Carolina next weekend.